at 9. This Saturday, the 3rd of August 2024. Way forward. The President reveals plans to boost employment in the coming years. Stresses the need for the continuance of the program with the IMF. Ruling party crisis. Changes made to the district leaderships of SLPP. Decision made to suspend members who act against party decisions. Sri Lanka shines. Sri Lankan Tourism Promotion Bureau backs the Best International Tourism Board accolade at the Global Tourism Awards 2024.
ඔබේ විශ්වාසය දෙනු සෙන්සුරයින් දැන් ළඟමැති ෆාමසියෙන් ලබාගත හැක.
This is Derana First at 9. Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's edition of Derana First at 9. I'm Tharidu Mahendra, joining you with the latest in Sri Lanka and from around the world. Now taking you straight to your top story this evening, President Ranil Wickremesinghe emphasises that it is imperative to maintain the agreements with the International Monetary Fund until 2032 in order to acquire the required funds for the development of the country. Addressing a gathering in Jaffna, the head of state revealed plans to create job opportunities within the next 2 years to eliminate the shortage of employment opportunities within the country.
A youth meeting themed Journey to a Brighter Future was held yesterday in Jaffna under the patronage of President Ranil Wickremesinghe.
I'm telling the truth. No employment opportunities were created during the past 4 years, both in the private and public sectors. In response, it is imperative to generate new employment opportunities within the country in the next 2 years. A huge development project will come into effect from next year onwards. I urge the private sector to join us in creating employment opportunities within the country.
Meanwhile, President Wickremesinghe also attended an event organized by a Member of Parliament Angajan Ramanathan yesterday.
You should remain as the President of this country for the next 5 years. Some of our concerns were notified to you by way of a letter. If you are willing to implement those requests by incorporating them into your election policies, you will have our support.
Never in my life I have seen a country's economic collapse like this. The previous government was out by the people. However, the opposition leader ran away when he was asked to take over the country. The leader of the JVP was nowhere to be seen. Where else in the world has seen a country's leaders fled away when given the opportunity to assume power? There were no solutions to the country's issues. At the end, I was the only parliamentarian of my party accepted the responsibility of leading the country. In spite of the various hardships we encountered, we were able to emerge out of the crisis. We should maintain the agreements with the IMF until 2032. If not, we will not receive any of the funds promised to us. If this program is successfully implemented during the next 5 years, we can move forward as a country. We should put aside political differences and move forward together. If we do that, we can create a future for our next generation.
Crunchy goodness for hunger on the go.
All district returning officers have been summoned to the Election Commission in order to discuss the activities pertaining to the 2024 presidential election. The discussions have reportedly commenced this morning at the Election Commission's head office. The election regulatory body has been conducting several rounds of negotiations with various parties concerning the forthcoming presidential election. Meanwhile, a spokesman of the Election Commission also announced that heads of media outlets across the country will be convened for a discussion pertaining to the matter on Monday.
Horizon Campus 2024 Intake 2. Register now.
Leader of the Samagi Jana Balawege, Sajith Premadasa, called on war veterans of Sri Lanka to join hands with the SJB for the second phase of Sri Lanka's humanitarian mission on the 21st of September, when the presidential election is scheduled to be held, in order to ensure that the perpetrators of the country's economic crisis are brought to justice. The opposition leader made this statement while addressing an event in Gampaha.
The 10th edition of the Samagi Jana Balawega's Dividena Ranaviru Convention series was held in Gampaha this evening under the patronage of SJB leader Sajith Premadasa.
It's a habit among leaders of third world countries to steal state assets. You're aware that law and justice has deteriorated. The president says if it wasn't for the IGP to whom an injunction was issued, criminals would be running riot in the country. However, as we witnessed during the past few days, the criminal underworld is still conducting its illicit activities. We will establish a society free of corruption under Sajith Premadasa-led government.
We believe that we will establish the beginning of a people-centric era on the 21st of September. The country which you saved is facing financial ruin. The leaders of this country are misappropriating the assets of the general public. Be prepared for the second phase of Sri Lanka's humanitarian mission on the 21st of September, which will see the perpetrators of the economic crisis brought to justice. It is the SJB's Dividena Ranaviru Balakaya that will implement the second phase of the humanitarian mission of retrieving all stolen state assets.
Star dishwasher Dali Hell Indul Pahasuwen Sede. Star dishwasher Magic Tapika.
Now, leader of the National People's Power, Anurukumara Disanayake, says an NPP-led government will ensure that equal educational opportunities are provided to individuals with disabilities. The NPP leader made this statement while attending the launch of the National People's Power's national policy on persons with disabilities.
The National People's Power's national policy and program on persons with disabilities was unveiled at the Sri Lanka Foundation Institute under the patronage of NPP leader Anurukumara Disanayake.
What is this policy that we unveiled today? It is the covenant between you and our party. We have no right to destroy or ignore that agreement. Therefore, have no doubts as we are giving our fullest effort to fulfill and protect all promises we make. An NPP-led government will ensure you are provided with equal educational opportunities regardless of your disability. We have presented a series of policies to implement this. In certain countries, mothers of children with disabilities are provided a stipend. The government has a responsibility of providing financial assistance to the disabled. This is a responsibility which cannot be avoided. We will not betray your trust in us.
Independent parliamentarian Daya Sirijayasekara says that he will support Samagi Jana Balawege candidate Sajith Premadasa at the upcoming presidential election. With that, here's a look at the latest developments in the political front.
ශ්‍රී ලංකා නිදහස් පක්ෂය විදියට අද අපි මේ ගන්න තීරණය ඉතාම ඓතිහාසික තීරණයක්. ශ්‍රී ලංකා නිදහස් පක්ෂය විදියට අපි තීරණයක් ගත්තා ඉදිරියේ පැවැත්වෙන ජනාධිපතිවරණයේදී සමගි ජනබල සන්ධානයේ නායකයා විදියට ක්‍රියා කරන ඒ වගේම ජනාධිපති අපේක්ෂකයා විදියට ක්‍රියා කරන විපක්ෂ නායක සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස මැතිතුමාට සහයෝගය ලබා දෙන්න. මොකද අපි දන්නවා පහුගිය කාලෙම අපි හිටියේ ආණ්ඩු විරෝධී මතයක. දිනුවාම හිතනවා ආණ්ඩු පක්ෂ කියලා, පරදුනාම හිතනවා විපක්ෂ කියලා.
When they claim victory, they think they represent the government. When they lose, they think they represent the opposition. However, right now, our political engagements have a country-first approach. The president will be running as an independent candidate. As the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, we have decided to support electing him to office for another 5 years in order to take the country forward.
The voter base of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party is the reason behind the victories of the candidates who emerged victorious from the presidential elections that were held since 1994. None of the SLFP supporters will cast their vote for any of those candidates. Some ministers claim that the candidate they support will win the election. However, the people with even a minor understanding of politics know that the camp that President Ranil Wickremesinghe represents is unable to claim at least 1 million votes.
Based on the present information, victory is clear for Sajith Premadasa. The people at the grassroots level have expressed their confidence in Sajith Premadasa. We expect to secure 7.2 million votes, surpassing the 50% mark. That strong foundation has already been built.
We should never think that we have already claimed victory. We have to keep in mind that our opponents are strong. President Ranil Wickremesinghe is contesting from the other side. What I think is that we have challenges in front of us. We have to work hard to overcome them.
Every piece of research has proven that Sajith Premadasa is going to win the election. This includes the research from state intelligence services. Even the government knows that Sajith is going to win.
Sajith
Premadasa, Namal Rajapaksa, Basil Rajapaksa and Dhammika Pereira have launched a separate conspiracy to defeat Ranil Wickremesinghe. They have met for a few days. Their plan is for Sajith Premadasa to be the president and the SLPP to claim the opposition. Those are only dreams. We do not have time for experiments. If the situation worsens again, a litre of fuel will cost 5,000 rupees and a fertilizer bag will cost as much as 50,000 rupees.
I have pohora bag එක රුපියල් 50,000කට යනවා අය දෙකක්.
Welcome back. Now, as more contingents of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna declare support for President Ranil Wickremesinghe in the upcoming presidential election, the party today revoked the appointments of 3 ministers and 1 parliamentarian who previously served as district leaders for the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna due to their support for President Ranil Wickremesinghe. As a result, Prasanna Ranatunga, Kanchana Wijesekara, Ramesh Patirana and S.M. Chandrasena will be removed from their positions as district leaders.
With a group of Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna parliamentarians pledging their support to President Ranil Wickremesinghe for the upcoming presidential election, contrary to the party Politburo decision to field a presidential candidate of its own, a rift began to appear between the two factions of the party, one calling for the party to support the incumbent president and the other calling for the party to field its own presidential candidate. Against such a backdrop, a senior member of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna revealed to Derana today that there have been changes in several district leadership positions within the party. Accordingly, State Minister Indika Anuruddha has been temporarily appointed to oversee the duties of the Gampa district leader, replacing Minister Prasanna Ranatunga. National organizer Namal Rajapaksa has been temporarily appointed to oversee the duties of the Anuradhapura district leader in place of parliamentarian S.M. Chandrasena. Parliamentarian Nipuna Ranawaka will temporarily oversee the duties of the Mathura district leader, replacing Minister Kanchana Wijesekara, while State Minister Mohan Priyadarshana De Silva has been temporarily appointed to oversee the duties of the Galle district leader, replacing Minister Ramesh Patirana. Against this backdrop, the Kandy District Committee of Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna convened yesterday under the chairmanship of District Parliamentarian Mahindananda Ludgamage.
Ranil Wickremesinghe is the only person who could develop this country and he has proven it. He is contesting as an independent candidate. Ranil Wickremesinghe will be the candidate with the support of the highest number of political parties. In another week, the officers of the SLPP in Nelum Mawatha will only have 5 members left.
Meanwhile, a rally was held in Hanguranketha Nuwara under the chairmanship of parliamentarian S.P. Disanayaka, where a resolution was passed expressing support for President Ranil Wickremesinghe. At the Galle District Conference of Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, a resolution endorsing President Ranil Wickremesinghe for the upcoming presidential election was unanimously adopted. The conference was attended by SLPP parliamentarians representing the Galle district as well as provincial council members and local government representatives of the SLPP. Additionally, a resolution supporting President Ranil Wickremesinghe was passed at a meeting of Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna at the Variapola electorate, which was chaired by State Minister D.B. Herath. Meanwhile, a group of SLPP members in the Ratnapura district, including parliamentarians representing the district, met today to discuss whether to support the incumbent President Ranil Wickremesinghe. The meeting chaired by State Minister Janaka Wakkumbura was attended by Minister Prasanna Ranatunga, State Minister Premalal Jayasekara, Parliamentarian Mudita Risoisa and several other members.
අභියෝග බාර අරගෙන රට මේ තත්ත්වයට පත් කරපු නායකයාට කඩේ ගියට වරද්දක් නැහැ. එහෙම යන්න මිනිස්සු සූදානම් ඉඳ තමයි මෙතන අද ඒකමතිකව මේ තීන්දුව ගත්තේ.
Meanwhile, Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna has sent a letter to its MPs notifying the decisions made by the Politburo regarding adherence to party discipline. The letter states that any members who oppose the party's decisions will have their membership revoked, regardless of their position within the party.
This letter is regarding my discipline. Before he inquires about my discipline, I would like to ask the party's General Secretary what are the actions he took when a party member was killed. I discussed this matter with the party. During the discussion, I requested them not to nominate the candidate they had planned. I have a good understanding of that candidate. That candidate is a person who represents our area. He is a person who is 2 years senior than me. We were in the same school.
තව දින කීපයයි. තව හොරා කීපයක් බලන් ඉන්න. මම නම් නෙවෙයි. අපි තව දවස් කීපයක් ඉන්නේ. ඉංගියක් කිව්වා මම නෙවෙයි කියලා කිව්වා. අනිවාර්යෙන් දේශපාලන ඉන්න කෙනෙක්. පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ තියෙන කෙනෙක්.
The remains of the late chief incumbent of Hunupitiya Gangarama Temple in Colombo, the Venerable Galboda Gnanisaratera, were brought to the Hunupitiya Gangarama Temple this morning, where public gathered to pay their final respects. Accordingly, former Presidents Gotabaya Rajapaksa and Mahinda Rajapaksa, Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena and Speaker of Parliament Mahinda Abebewardena also paid their respects to the Venerable Gnanisaratera. Archbishop of Colombo, His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit, was also among those who paid their final respects to the late chief incumbent. According to the funeral committee, the final rites of the late Venerable Galboda Gnanisaratera will be held under state patronage on Monday at the grounds opposite the temple. Police stated that a special traffic plan will be in place from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. near the Gangarame Temple in Colombo next Monday, where the cremation ceremony will be held. A tragic accident on the Parliament Road this morning claimed the life of a youth aged 16 and left 3 other persons injured. Police reports revealed that the unfortunate accident had occurred owing to the high speed in which the car involved in the accident was travelling.
According to police reports, 4 youths had sustained severe injuries after the car they were travelling in veered off the road and crashed into a tree and collided with a van on the Parliament Road at around 10:30 a.m. this morning. The accident was captured on the dash cam of another vehicle. The accident had occurred owing to the high speed the car in question was travelling in. A youth travelling in the car had recorded a video of the driver driving the car at a high speed. Out of the 4 youths travelling in the car at the time of the accident, 1 unfortunately succumbed to his injuries. The deceased was identified as a 16-year-old youth who had been travelling in the back seat of the car. The 20-year-old driver of the car, who reportedly had not sustained any injuries, was taken into custody of the Thalangama police. Meanwhile, a woman who was travelling in the van was reported to have sustained injuries. The Thalangama police are conducting further investigations into the incident.
Welcome back. Now, reaffirming its commitment and dedication to bolster the tourism industry of the country, the Sri Lanka Tourism Promotion Bureau clinched the Best International Tourism Board accolade at the Global Tourism Awards 2024, organised by Travel World Online. Commenting on the victory, Tourism Minister Harin Fernando stated that against the backdrop where Sri Lanka has been globally recognised as a front-runner in the tourism industry, over 1.2 million tourist arrivals have been recorded so far this year, marking a significant milestone in the island nation's goal of achieving 2.3 million tourist arrivals within the year.
Organised by Travel World Online, the Global Tourism Awards, which serve as a platform to honour and celebrate organisations that have made outstanding contributions to the tourism industry, shaping its landscape and driving positive change, concluded yesterday in New Delhi, India. The awards, which were assessed by experts in the industry, recognized the dedication and hard work of tourism professionals across the globe. The event saw the attendance from various sectors of the tourism industry, including travel agencies, tour operators, hospitality professionals, and government representatives. In a significant moment of pride, the Sri Lanka Tourism Promotion Bureau secured the Best International Tourism Board accolade. The award was presented to the chairman of the SLTPB, Chalaka Gajabahu, and Minister of Tourism Harin Fernando. The tourism minister and other officials who attended the event arrived in Sri Lanka this morning.
14 countries including Thailand, Indonesia and Nepal applied for this award. In my opinion, the commitments we made during the past 2 years, the growth we achieved through various campaigns initiated worldwide and the sacrifices made even without adequate funds led us to this victory. We are grateful to the Sri Lanka Tourism Promotion Bureau and its staff. Global Tourism Awards is a ceremony that celebrates outstanding contributions made to the tourism industry. Sri Lanka has been recognized by the entire world today. Other countries are trying to implement measures introduced by us. More than 1.2 million tourist arrivals have been recorded as of yesterday. We have 5 more months in which to reach the target set for this year.
The US unemployment rate jumped to near a 3-year high of 4.3% in July amid a significant slowdown in hiring, heightened fears the labour market was deteriorating and potentially making the economy vulnerable to a recession. The US Department of Labour yesterday said the increase in the unemployment rate from 4.1% in June marked the 4th straight monthly increase. Its rise from a 5-decade low of 3.4% in April 2023 to now the highest level since September 2021 all but guarantees a September interest rate cut from the Federal Reserve, with economists calling for a 50 basis point reduction in borrowing costs. The sharp slowdown in the labour market had been flagged for a while in sentiment surveys and a rise in the number of people on unemployment benefits. The Fed's rate hikes in 2022 and 2023 have weighed on demand for labour, with government data this week showing highs in June were the lowest in 4 years. The employment report, which also showed the increase in annual wages last month, was the smallest in more than 3 years, prompted some Wall Street institutions, including Bank of America Securities, to pull forward their rate cut expectations to September from December. And with that, here's a look at some corporate news in brief.
Alumex plc secured the prestigious Gold Award in the manufacturing engineering sector at the National Business Excellence Awards 2024. This highly coveted award recognizes the company's excellence in business and its contribution to the economic progress of the country. Alumex plc has consistently set new standards for manufacturing excellence and innovation as the undisputed market leader. Meanwhile, recruitment platform Express Jobs announced its partnership with Sri Lanka Skills Expo 2024 as the official local recruitment partner. The exhibition themed Unlock Your Future will take place from the 10th to the 12th of September at the Nelumpokuna Mahindu Rajapaksa Theatre. The expo will feature tertiary and vocational education commission qualified and experienced career guidance officers and counsellors available to offer personalised advice and support to attendees. In other corporate news, Richard Peary's group recorded a profit before tax of 1.75 billion rupees during the first quarter of financial year 2024-2025. The company recorded a profit growth of 281% over the corresponding period from the last financial year, which stood at 459 million rupees. The group's overall performance was mainly boosted by significant operating profit contributions from the rubber, plastics, furniture and electronics, retail and plantation sectors during the period. The retail sector operating profit saw a growth of 35%, while the plantation sector recorded a 65% uptick in operating profit boosted by the increased yield and price advantages.
And with that, we wrap up tonight's edition of First at 9. Thank you for joining us and have a good night.
information you can trust 24 hours a day. Visit adaderana.lk